Okay, so this is a little bit awkward. If we had secondary planes, it would be an easy Benevolent Bodyguard into Akroan Skyguard. But because we have the Secluded Steppe, we're stumbling a little bit. So I think I'll probably play Steppe first and then Skyguard on 2, depending on what the opponent plays. But that is a very risky play. I'm going to have to second guess myself on that one. Playing a Akroan Skyguard with no protection up is probably just too foolhardy. I think I'll start Plains Bodyguard. So I'll just be able to start getting in for some small amount of damage. I might even put a Cartouche onto it. Alright, opponent's name is Terminus. They've got a wizard from the Weatherlight, Erte, as their avatar. Here we go. So it's a mirror match. So we don't need to worry so much about Benevolent Bodyguard nonsense. Let's put Akroan Skyguard onto the board here. And then next turn we'll load it up with enchantments and swing in. Looks like we have a very similar start. Okay, Stave Off. So we can give a creature protection from white, but that would make all of the gear fall off of it. Going to hope they don't have a Journey to Nowhere. Because I don't really want to give that Skyguard pro white here. Sentinel's Eyes gives it Vigilance, so they'll be able to attack and block with it, but mine is still bigger. Okay, just the plains off the top. Kind of wish I had kept that step now so I could cycle it. Okay, let's do the thing our deck does. Okay, they're going to block. They'll lose their Hyena Umbra. Vigilance is really serving them well here in the sense that they're able to attack and block. Okay, nothing much off the top there. So let's see here. If we attack, they don't necessarily have to block, and they could have us on the crackback, but they would need like an Ethereal Armor or something. They have 4 cards in hand. I think we still have to keep attacking. Okay, it looks like they're going to give their creature protection from, +2/+2 and gains hexproof and indestructible. Okay, well, that's a different card from what I'm playing. And that, I think, looks a little bit better than Stave Off. So that's looking pretty good here. We're going to lose our Skyguard unless we give it protection from white. And if we do that, the enchantments here are going to fall off. We're going to turn around for the next game. Let's see here. Bring in Celestial Flare. And Fragmentize. We're going to want to take out some of the protection spells here. I'm thinking the Stave Off. Interesting. Okay, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Stave Off can actually be used to give my opponent's creatures protection from white, and then that will cause the auras to fall off of the opponent's creatures. So let's take out Benevolent Bodyguard and Mana Tithe. Okay, so we have one land. We do have Trailblazers and enchantments, though. Pretty much everything can be cast with the one land. Probably start with Sentinel's Eyes. Okay, we get a free attack here. Next turn we can put the Umbra and the Cartouche on it. Oh no, they have Journey to Nowhere. Okay, well we just lose it. That journey was pretty big game for the opponent. Our creatures don't have the natural hexproof of some other decks, so we can sometimes struggle with that. Okay, so Stave Off could be good here. In protecting our creature from Journey, we would lose the auras, but we could keep the ++ counters. Another option is to use the Kor Skyfisher to bounce the Cartouche back to hand and get an extra creature on the board. I don't think we're going to be beating another Journey to Nowhere. Maybe I should be playing around it, but I chose not to. Lifelink. Okay, good card. I was wondering why I didn't see it in my list. Seems pretty good. And Ethereal Armor to go with it. So we're going to want to Stave Off to get those auras to fall off the opponent's creature. It kind of would have been nice if we could have done it in such a way we could kill the creature, but our Kor Skyfisher is just too small to do that. Okay, we got Skyguard here. So I think we'll just attack in with everything, play Skyguard, and then we'll block and then give the opponent's creature pro white, I guess. We could also just give our blocker pro white. It's not like the opponent's creature can trample, and protection from white would prevent the damage, so the lifelink wouldn't work. And now I'm thinking maybe I want to Stave Off in response, so that they don't get the +1/+1 dude to block my Trailblazer. Decided not to. They have 2 mana open here. They could easily have the aura, which would give their creature pro white. This is exactly what I was playing around. Okay, so in response, we'll Stave Off. And they won't get the blessing because their creature's pro white. Okay, they're holding back now. Deftblade Elite will be good on a later turn. They're going to block the Trailblazer with their warrior. They can take down my Kor Skyfisher if I attack with it. And then they would take potentially 3. I think that might be worthwhile to lose the Kor Skyfisher for that, so that I can get the opponent into lethal range next turn with the Deftblade Elite and the Trailblazer. Okay, they got lifelink again. Okay, that's going to be pretty good. That might be the game right there. Definitely liking some of the choices the opponent made for this this deck. The lifelink is quite a nice swing. Protection from red with the Emerge Unscathed. Was that a mistake? In any event, I don't have anything flying, so squash, and they gain a bunch of life. Sentinel's Eyes. I don't think that's going to do enough. We have to block the Akroan Skyguard, and that's just going to be gaining so many life each turn. If we had some way to get the Deftblade Elite to be blocking it, then we could be preventing all the damage. That would be fine. Oh, and we have the Sentinel's Eyes in the graveyard that I forgot about. So we could do, let's see here. That would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, it was close. It was very close. One, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. Gets their warrior off the board, as well as my Deftblade Elite. I could hold back with the Akroan Skyguard and just try and block and see if I have another turn. Oh, I wasn't supposed to attack with the Akroan Skyguard there. That's a punt. I was supposed to hold that back to block, so now we're just dead. I hit attack all. I didn't mean to attack all. Okay, we have a lot of land. We only have one creature, and it's not a hero. I mean, the Benevolent Bodyguard does a lot for people, but it doesn't have the heroic keyword. Now we have no creature at all. We have a one lander here. This has been just brutal. Alright, so fingers crossed we find some lands off the top of the deck. Opponent has Ancient Den, Chromatic Star. Trailblazer, a little bit late to the party. So from Ancient Den, Chromatic Star, and Seed of the Synod, they're probably playing the Affinity deck. Very similar to the Atog Fling deck that came before, but it's got Fall from Favor now. Let's see here. I suppose I probably play Sentinel's Eyes here. Could also play Hyena Umbra. I don't expect the Vigilance to put in much work yet, but it might put in quite a bit of work later. The question is, can they kill the Trailblazer? They would need double Galv Blast be able to do that. Might as well just play around double Galv Blast because I can this turn. Springleaf Drum. Okay. And there is a free 4/4. They paid no mana for that 4/4 there. Okay, attack for 2. Could have prevented that if we'd used the Sentinel's Eyes. Okay, there's a Benevolent Blessing. Not going to be too great against the opponent's deck. So we can play the Sentinel's Eyes, and we can start attacking through the Mirror Enforcer here. And then next turn we can go for Ethereal Armor. Start cracking in for big damage. If we had found a land there, Ethereal Armor would have been quite nice as a backup. Unfortunately, Benevolent Blessing does not give protection from colorless. Okay, Thraben Inspector. So they're going to be drawing towards their Atog Fling, I would guess. Gonna have a hard time attacking past my Trailblazer. But I'm going to have a hard time attacking through their guys too. Let's see here. Do we want to play the Cartouche or the Ethereal Armor? I'm going to play the Ethereal Armor, I think. Force them to block. Makes my creature nearly unkillable by them. I expect a block here, just a chump. There's nothing really else they can do. Digging for the Fall from Favor. I agree. If we could get the secondary land, we could hold up Benevolent Blessing. But until we get there, we might as well just continue playing our auras. Sentinel's Eyes. Cannot find that second land. Might as well throw an aura onto the creature and attack. We got the Cartouche here, so we'll get a secondary dude. And if they do end up managing to use Fall from Favor on the Trailblazer, we can use Benevolent Blessing to at least untap it later. So once we get our secondary planes, we'll be able to untap our Trailblazer again. I think we chump here. Not going to get much value from that warrior otherwise. Yes, I totally agree. It's nuts. Oh, alright. So we have the Benevolent Blessing ready to go. We'll use it end of the opponent's turn so that we can untap our Trailblazer and start attacking next turn. No reason to let them know what's coming. We'll just pass. I've heard quite a few people calling out for bannings of the Monarch cards. I don't blame them. Okay, they're holding the Thraben Inspector back here. Smart move. Give it protection from blue. Okay. I think the only ban-worthy card is Fall from Favor. You're probably right. Although the Monarch does add a level to Pauper that can sometimes feel very difficult to get past, as it seems very overwhelming sometimes. Thinking about playing the Akroan Skyguard here. Put a couple auras onto that next turn, have a flying threat, chip away at that life total. Opponent with a Thought Cast. They've got 6 cards in hand, and here's the Atog. So let's see here. They have the Springleaf Drum, they have Prophetic Prism. If they have Fling, they can kill us here. Okay, they're just playing a Thraben Inspector. They might not have the Fling. Or they could just be going for an extra artifact in the clue, just to, you know, flex a little bit. Okay, good thing we got a flyer in the Skyguard. We can start getting some damage in here and take the Monarch back. Or take the Monarch away, rather. Ooh, Ethereal Armor. That's a good one. Okay, we'll put the, I think, the Sentinel's Eyes and Ethereal Armor onto the Akroan Skyguard here. This should boost up the Skyguard's power by quite a bit. Oh, it looks like they have something. Galv Blast on the Skyguard. Skyguard down. Pretty good value on the opponent's Galv Blast there. 1 card effectively took care of 3 of ours. They're going to be able to just block here with Thraben Inspector. Let's see here. So they can attack next turn. We have to block the Atog. We take 8 from the Mirror Enforcer, and a Galv Blast will finish it. Okay, there's the Galv Blast, so we're dead. All they have to do is attack all. Okay, we'll bring in Fragmentize for sure. We could bring in Journey to Nowhere and Celestial Flare. Celestial Flare doesn't do too well against their Fling plan. Oh, Hallow works really well against their Fling plan. Let's bring that in instead. We'll take the Celestial Flares back out. Or maybe we should be switching more. I'm wondering about the usefulness of my protection colors. The Stave Off and Benevolent Bodyguard. They're not going to be stopping Fling. But they would be stopping Fall from Favor, which I think is good enough. Okay, this hand looks fine. We'll keep. Play the Trailblazer, start with a Hyena Umbra, Ethereal Armor, start attacking for damage. Gotta love the 1-2 punch of turn 1 Heroic Creature, turn 2 2 auras. They won't be able to Galv Blast a Trailblazer turn 1, so I don't think they'll have any way to take care of it until Fall from Favor. We should be able to get quite a bit of damage in by that point, and we'll have Benevolent Blessing as an answer. Hopefully while the Fall from Favor is on the stack. Okay, attacking for 5 on turn 2. And a Prophetic Prism from the opponent. So we might just go ahead and Benevolent Blessing the Trailblazer right now, Pro Blue. just so we don't have to deal with it, and we can do the extra point of damage. It might have been better to hold it up until potentially the end of the opponent's turn, just in case we could have had them spending extra mana that way, taking a turn off, as it were. But it looks like this way we will win on our next turn. So maybe this is the proper play. We should be able to do 8 damage next turn, unless they present a blocker with no color. Frogmite here would be able to block the Trailblazer for a turn. We could hit it with Journey to Nowhere, but then we would only have 7 damage. Okay, Ardent Recruit, if that's their only blocker, we should have them. Okay, they're even tapping the blocker here. One, two, three, four, five, six. So they don't have enough for their 4/4. This should just be death. Okay. Do I want to change anything here? Turned out to be pretty happy to keep the Celestial Flare out, that's for sure. Double Cleave actually seems kind of interesting. Seems like we will be doing the damage in the early turns. So a Double Cleave might allow us to just take the game, similar to how a Fling does for the opponent. But I don't know what I would want to take out for it. I want to keep the bodyguards, the Stave Off, the blessings for the Fall from Favor. So I think we'll just end up submitting here and leaving the Double Cleave in the sideboard. Okay, so our only creature here is the Benevolent Bodyguard. We have too many lands. I don't mind mulliganing this. Okay, this is much better. We'll keep this, get rid of one of the steps. We have a turn 1 heroic creature. We have an aura to put onto it so that we can start attacking for damage. We have Stave Off to keep the Fall from Favor off of our Trailblazer. And Sentinel's Eyes is pretty fantastic. Love giving my creature vigilance. We might want to keep Stave Off up from now on. And we can cycle the Secluded Steppe just in case. We can hold up the mana, use a Secluded Steppe if they don't cast Fall from Favor. If you're at all curious, the reason why I'm playing this deck today is because of how it lines up versus Fall from Favor and Cannonade. Seems to be quite good versus both of those cards. Wouldn't really expect an attack here. I mean, if they had the Tooth, they could get me. Alright, they don't even go for it. Ooh, Ethereal Armor, you don't say. I'm going to be putting that onto my creature next turn. Yeah, that's for sure. So if we put the Sentinel's Eyes onto the Trailblazer, it's not going to be big enough to get past the Ardent Recruit. But we have to hold up mana for Stave Off here. Okay, it's just a Thought Cast. No aura this turn, so we're going to be able to cycle Secluded Steppe, and we'll play the Ethereal Armor next turn. We'll have a big attacker then. Secondary Ethereal Armor. We're going to be doing so many damage. Okay, opponent just takes the 5 to the chin. I think I would have put the Thraben Inspector in front of the thing. Okay, here's a Kor Skyfisher. I mean, I guess. Return Prophetic Prism. Yep. Okay, so we miss out on mana here on the Stave Off. Plains is quite nice. Okay, they're just taking the 10. So next turn, the Stave Off will give our creature unblockable from white. So they're going to need something else. Fall from favor. Okay, we have the Stave Off. Give it Pro Blue. No Monarch for you. Just deciding how I want to use my Deftblade Elitist here. I'm thinking I'll probably pull the Thraben Inspector this turn towards it. If they want to block with... I mean, they're going to have to block, and then I'll take one of their bigger creatures that way. I could also put the Hyena Umbra onto the Deftblade Elite, and that would allow it to kill the Thraben Inspector unless they blocked it with 2 creatures. And I think that might be slightly better than putting it onto the Trailblazer. It doesn't have trample, so what's the point? Attack, attack. And provoke the Inspector. Okay, so they're going to immediately block it with the Mirror Enforcer, so we are going to have to prevent the damage. Oh, but we have First Strike here. So we can do the First Strike damage and then prevent damage. Okay. That's pretty sweet tech. I like that. Okay, so Prophetic Prism from opponent and another Kor Skyfisher, allowing them to continue to draw through their deck looking for answers. And every time they're putting a creature down, that's another creature that can block the Trailblazer. Attack, attack. Doesn't really matter at this point. We'll provoke Skyfisher, I suppose. Do like First Strike on the Deftblade Elite. That is pretty cool. Didn't actually do anything that turn, but I like that interaction. Okay, cracking the Chromatic Star, drawing a card. And here's a Thoughtcast. So drawing more cards, drawing their way towards Atog or another Fall from Favor. Either one is going to be good here. Okay, they find the Fall from Favor. They're able to tap down my Trailblazer here. I do not have the answer for that yet. Going to be looking for that off the top. Oh, and here's an Atog. Might not have the time for it. Okay, Akroan Skyguard off the top. We'll put our cards onto the table here, and let's see. I guess we'll attack with the Deftblade Elite, provoke the Atog, and force them to sacrifice an artifact. Oh, we've tapped off of the provoke and prevent damage. I don't want to throw the Deftblade away. Definitely tapped too many manas there. We're going to put the Trailblazer in front of the Atog. If they want to kill the Trailblazer, they're going to need to sacrifice 2 artifacts, which would be quite good if they had Temur Battle Rage. But if they're just sacrificing 2 other artifacts to take the Trailblazer off the board, I'm fine with that. Ethereal Armor. Okay. So that's something we can put onto the Skyguard and give it quite a bit of power and toughness. We've got quite a few auras on the board here. Make it a 7/7. Okay. And we can force the Kor Skyfisher to block the Deftblade Elite, winning the game. Deftblade Elite. What a great card. First strike damage should end it here, so we don't even have to tap the mana for the Deftblade Elite. Okay, this is a keep. Start with Benevolent Bodyguard into Skyguard into double Ethereal Armor. Let's go. Opponent looks like they have a Jeweled Lotus avatar. Very nice. Okay, start with the Bodyguard, pass the turn. Bodyguard, good versus Cannonade and Fall from Favor. Okay, opponent has Snow-Covered Island and Fairy Seer. So this is going to be a bit of a problem match here. Spellstutter Sprite could get our Ethereal Armors. Think that our deck is quite weak to Sprite, actually. We play a ton of 1-drops. Trailblazer. Well, I think we're going to go for the flyer here. Pass the turn. Might have been a good idea to play Trailblazer Ethereal Armor. That way we could have gotten under Spellstutter Sprite. Okay, let's start with a Trailblazer then. See if that'll catch a Sprite. It does. And then we'll play Armor on the Skyguard, so we can attack with it. We are tapped out, so we aren't going to be able to stave off Fall from Favor, but opponent plays Terramorphic Expanse. They're probably going to Ninja here, I would guess. Nope. So holding up like a Counterspell or another Spellstutter Sprite. We are racing them quite well here. Let's play a Deftblade Elite and see if they bite. Okay, no bite. Let's just attack then and pass the turn. We're going to hold up our protection spells here. And now we get to see what off color they're playing. Okay, they're playing Swamp. So that means that they're going to have access to Snuff Out. Fortunately, we do have the Benevolent Bodyguard and Stave Off to help protect us. And the Akroan Skyguard. Okay, it looks like they're attacking with both again. Yeah, we'll gladly take the 2. You don't have a blocker, that's great too. Alright. Secluded Steppe. I think we can cycle that. Get another Plains. Alright, let's attack with everything, I think. And we don't need to use a Deftblade Elite's ability necessarily. We could trade it with a Spellstarter Sprite, but I don't think that's good. We're going to say no. They're just going to take 5 here. They must have some spell to interact. Okay, here's the cast down on the Skyguard. So do we stave off? No, we Benevolent Bodyguard here. The stave off can be countered. Okay, we'll give our protection from black. Okay, opponent only takes 4 now. We still are going to hold back on the Ethereal Armor. Opponent has 2 mana up. Don't want to play into their Spellstarter Sprite. If opponent plays land Fall from Favor, then we could be in quite a bit of trouble. Okay, they only have 1 land up, so we can stave off. Give our creature a Pro Blue. Okay, they have the Snuff Out to answer that. So we are going to lose our creature. Opponent is at 5 life now. And we draw land off the top. Okay. We could play Ethereal Armor onto the Deftblade Elite and start killing their creatures that way. Get that Spellstarter Sprite off the board. Okay, Gurmag Angler. Well, we'll be able to kill the Fairy Seer anyways, because we have First Strike. Another Plains off the top. Here's the double block. Okay, we got that right. Do First Strike damage. And then prevent damage. We'll leave the Plains in our hand. Kind of like pretending we have a trick. Opponent has another blocker here. Deftblade Elite doesn't kill anything on the board right now. Opponent still has 2 cards in hand, but they got nothing from the Augur of Bolas. Okay, they're attacking with the Gurmag Angler here. We're going to take 5. how the tables have turned. Okay, we get Kor Skyfisher off the top. They won't be able to block, or they won't be able to stop that with a Spell Stutter Sprite because of the work our Elite has done. But we're not getting any value out of it either. Okay, straight up counterspell on the Kor Skyfisher there. We're going to pass the turn. We can use the Elite as a blocker for the Gurmag Angler. Okay, cast down. We can concede to the cast down. Okay, this is going to be a problematic matchup. We don't have very many good cards either. I think the Sacred Cat could be okay. Journey to Nowhere might be okay as well. But generally they're going to be casting a lot of spells to kill our creatures, so the Benevolent Blessing is going to be one of our best cards. Okay, I'm going to take out one of the Stave Off. I think it's one of our worst answers because of Spell Stutter Sprite, so they can counter it quite easy. But I'm going to leave 2 in because I just don't want to be caught flat-footed. Okay, so we have no lands. We must mull. Okay, we have lands, spells. We have a heroic creature. We don't have any way to protect it, but we will keep this. Get rid of the Secluded Steppe. So we're going to be swinging in for a bunch of damage next turn. But we are going to be open to a cast down. They could even just go get Swamp here and snuff out my critter in response. That is brutal. Opponent's deck is quite well built up against ours, it seems. That Terramorphic Expanse for Swamp snuff out the Trailblazer as I was putting an aura onto it. Oof. Strong move. Okay, we have the Deftblade Elite. They can just really counter this, can't they? There's nothing else we could really do, but they have the Spell Stutter Sprite, so looks like we're out of gas. Going to go on to the next match in just a moment here. If we miss on creature, opponent's going to be getting quite a bit of advantage turn after turn. And I'm not into sitting around waiting. But we got the critter off the top, so let's throw it down and see if it sticks. Again, Spell Stutter Sprite or Counterspell could stop me, but what else am I doing? Okay, I'm conceding, that's what I'm doing. We have a 1-land hand. No 1-land, oh, sorry, the Benevolent Bodyguard is a 1-land creature, but I was specifically looking for the Trailblazer here if I was going to keep a 1-lander. I really want to be able to get up to the Skyguard. We're going to mull this. Okay, we have a 1-lander again, but we do have the Trailblazer we're going to keep. And I think we'll throw back the Mana Tithe. We're just not going to have the time to cast it with a 1-land hand. We'll start off with the Cartouche, I think, dependent on what the opponent plays here. It is very difficult to kill a Trailblazer turn 1. Looks like we've got the same type of matchup again. Let's see if we can find land off the top, so we can start putting on pressure. Okay, we do find land, but it is a tap land. We'll play it and play the Cartouche. No, we'll play the Hyena Umbra, which will insulate our creature versus cast down. It is worse versus a verdict or an edict, but it's what we have to do. Next turn we can play Cartouche and hold up Stave Off, but we are going to have to watch out for Spellstutter Sprite here, so we might not play anything at all. Okay, no, they're playing Ninja, so we can load up our critter. Okay, another Cartouche. So I think we might want to hold back on our second Cartouche in our Deftblade Elite here and hold Stave Off. Opponent's going up to 3 mana here. They could easily have a powerful spell to take the Trailblazer out of combat. Either fall from favor or some other nonsense. Absolutely want to chump here. No question. Evolving Wilds from the opponent. Going to get a Mountain. Okay, so now we know we don't have to worry about cast down. It's only fall from favor we have to worry about. Skred is not going to be able to touch our Trailblazer. Find another land. Okay. We'll play the Cartouche. Our Centaur Scout has all the first strikes. We'll go ahead and play the Deftblade Elite, but we'll probably end up dying to a Skred. Opponent's letting us wait here on the Cartouche. We don't have access to very many free spells in Pauper, so can't really think of any that the opponent would have here. They probably just stepped away for a moment. Oh, here we go. Oh, no blocks from the opponent. We'll play Deftblade Elite, and maybe we'll win next turn. We'll see how they tap. Definitely prefer playing against red style here versus the black style. Okay, attacking with the Ninja again. Again, we'll snap block with the Warrior. And in future turns, we'll have Deftblade Elite to block. We could take one of the Fairy Seers off of the board here, but I don't think that's worthwhile. They could just be skredding the Elite here. Okay, it's just a Lightning Bolt. They have 2 mana here, so they could have Spellstutter Sprite, unfortunately. Ah, with the Hyena Umbra. So we can cast the Hyena Umbra as bait and see if they take it. And then we can potentially give our creature Pro Blue. No, it looks like they're smarter than that, so they're going to let that resolve. And then they'll just block it with a Fairy Seer. I'm not casting the Stave Off here. That would just be a free card for them to Spellstutter. If they're playing an Ash Barrens as an untapped land like that, then they have a reason to. So they're going to be able to draw a card for the first time off their Ninja. We've been doing a pretty good job of keeping them off those extra cards until now. Okay, opponent looks to be tapping out. This could be fall from favor. Yep. Okay, we'll Stave Off. Pro Blue. Would have been nice if we could have won with that spell, but much better to keep our creature healthy and attacking. Okay, so we got the Benevolent Bodyguard here. We can just give our Trailblazer Pro Blue and we win. Opponent sees the writing on the wall, picks up their cards. Okay, so we could play Gutshot to get rid of some of their Faeries. Could play Hallow to mess with their spells. Prevent the damage of a Scred, gain that life. Journey to Nowhere seems okay. I don't mind the Gutshot. Get rid of some of those Faeries. It's not as good as it would be versus Elves. But it takes a blocker off the board and can potentially stop them from countering one of our spells. Okay, we have a 2-land hand, one of the lands being Secluded Steppe. We have Akroan Skyguard, we have Benevolent Blessing. We have a Gutshot to get rid of a Fairy, we're going to keep this. And we can play the Secluded Steppe first land, so we can play Skyguard second. That will be a little bit risky. If they have Lightning Bolt and the like, they'll be able to catch the Skyguard. I think we're going to go ahead and Gutshot that on our turn. So they can't do ninja things. I'm also considering just playing the Deftblade Elite with the Plains, and then next turn maybe put a Hyena Umbra onto it. I don't mind waiting a bit on the Skyguard. They're probably going to have ways to answer it. Deftblade Elite with first strike is okay. Hyena Umbra would also protect the Deftblade Elite from Lightning Bolt. Okay, we have a Fairy Seer on the other side. We're going to be able to kill that with the Elite. Okay, it looks like it auto-targeted for me because there's only one target. And we can just pass here. Looks like they were trying to get away with no blocks. Maybe they didn't see the Provoke go onto the stack. Had quite a few instances of that already this league. People trying to get away without blocking with the Elite. It doesn't make it very clear that you're supposed to do it. Okay, there's the Mountain. So they can get the Elite off the table now with that. We're still going to try and kill the Fairy Seer with it. Okay, that worked. I'm wondering if I want to just play a Skyguard here into their red mana. Our Deftblade Elite has already been doing quite a bit of work. Let's play the Skyguard and just hope that it sticks around for a turn. If we can untap and get another land here for the Benevolent Blessing as an instant, we can put an Ethereal Armor onto it, and I'd be feeling pretty good. Opponent looking for answers to our critters here. They did put a card on top of the Preordain, so they have something. And we do get the land off the top. Fantastic. So let's see here. Ethereal Armor will be +2, and plus another 1 for the Akroan Skyguard being a heroic creature. So let's start with that. I would prefer to keep the Benevolent Blessing as a pro blue, but they might force my hand here with a lightning bolt. Nope. Okay, great. Let's just attack and pass. Going to keep that Benevolent Blessing up as an answer to Fall from Favor. Okay, Lightning Bolt on the Deftblade Elite. I think we let that happen. We're going to get our Deftblade Elite back. We'll just lose Hyena Umbra, which will lose 1 power on the Skyguard. And we can put the Cartouche onto it before they untap with another red mana. Okay, Skred has been revealed. So that is going to do quite a bit of damage to our Skyguard. Okay, we get a Bodyguard. That's cool. Let's see here. Play the Cartouche first. Gets our critter up to, looks like a 6/6, which is more than they can do with Skred. So in that case, we'll hold up Benevolent Blessing. They can only do maximum 5 with Skred. And this way we get to protect ourselves from Fall from Favor. So that should be GG. Pro Blue. That's an 8/8 flying. Protection from blue attacking you. Yeah, sure. You got the Skred. Good job, buddy. You did it. Okay. Okay, so we have a 1-land hand here, but we have the Trailblazer. I'm going to keep this, especially being on the draw. And we have a ton of 1-mana plays to make. So I'm thinking Trailblazer, Sentinel's Eyes, Cartouche, that kind of thing. And if we manage to draw a land sometime in the next 2 turns, then we're going to be doing actually quite well there. So fingers crossed, we find a land very soon. Windscar Crag. So starting on the Trailblazer, it's going to be lightning bolt proof, but they'll be able to kill it with 2 lightning bolts. Okay, plains here. So Journey to Nowhere is going to be their big way to get rid of Trailblazer, I think. If we can get to a turn 3, maybe we can put Blessing on it, but I'm going to want to start with Sentinel's Eyes and Cartouche. Okay, they discard a pair of Prismatic Strands and play Thraben Inspector. So this is Boros Bully. And they're going to be able to prevent quite a bit of damage from our swings. Let's see what we get off the top. Land, land, land. No, no land. So I think we'll probably play Sentinel's Eyes to start so that we can block as well as attack. This is what we signed up for when we kept a 1-land hand, and this might be the only land that we see this game. Fingers crossed we find one off the top. Journey to Nowhere. Okay, we basically lose. We wouldn't have held up protection anyways. We'll keep on playing for a few more turns here. Opponent is not putting us under any pressure right now. But Boros Bully is able to put up quite a bit of pressure very quickly. They go wide and then rally the peasants. buffing their entire team for 2 or 4, and are able to kill you in one swing, maybe 2. Okay, secondary Thraben Inspector. They have their blockers, they have Prismatic Strands. They're doing pretty well over there. But they only have 3 cards in hand. Mana Tithe. Alright, so we have to pass again. But we might be able to Mana Tithe them. They do have quite a few 4-mana spells. Okay, Mana Tithe. Gotcha. Alright, how about creature off the top? Another plains. I was looking for you guys earlier. Now I want creatures. Creatures off the top, please. Squadron Hawk. So this is one of the ways that they can go wide. They grab Squadron Hawk, fill their hand back up with Hawks, and then when you're rallying the Peasant, Hawks are quite good at that. The evasion, being able to fly over opponent's blockers, doing a ton of damage. Okay, no luck here, still no creatures. This is one of the downfalls to decks like this. When you're looking to suit up a critter and you have no critter, you look kind of silly with your hand full of cards and doing nothing. Opponent has a handful of cards too, but opponent can cast their Squadron Hawks. Oh, here's a Seeker of the Way. Excellent card. It's one of the cards that I was considering putting in the deck that we're playing. But I ended up playing a more aura-focused deck. And the aura-focused deck doesn't play the Seeker of the Way as often as the instance-focused deck would. Critter? Nope. Alright, we're going to concede here. Not too interested in a lot of what our sideboard is offering us here. We could bring in Double Cleave, but I think that's a liability. What do we want to take out? And maybe we'll just put in a couple Double Cleave. Take out the Mana Tithe. Journey is fine. Blessing is pretty good. Stave Off. I mean, Stave Off is fine as well as the Bodyguard, but I don't know that we need as many as all that when we're not playing against Fall from Favor. Deftblade Elite is okay. So yeah, maybe we'll just take out a Benevolent Bodyguard, a Stave Off, and put in some Double Cleave. Opponent's taken a little while to sideboard here, but they've definitely seen enough to know what we're about. they saw the Trailblazer. So that's definitely enough to know what we're doing. Only one deck plays Trailblazer, and that's a heroic deck. Okay, opponent has 30 seconds left to finish their sideboarding. Okay, so we have some lands. We have Deftblade Elite, Skyguard, a couple in auras. We're going to keep this for sure. Probably end up putting the Umbra on the Skyguard, but I do really like giving Deftblade Elite first strike. Opponent on the mulligan this time. Okay, just mulliganed once. We'll start with Deftblade Elite. Okay, they have the mountain, so they're ready to go with a lightning bolt. We'll just attack with Deftblade Elite to start, see what happens. Okay, I don't really want to throw my Skyguard into a lightning bolt here, so we're going to pass. Boros Garrison is going to bring Mountain back to their hand, so we're going to have a chance to put the Hyena Umbra onto the Skyguard. It does mean that we won't have a Benevolent Blessing to protect it from Journey to Nowhere. But it will be protected from Lightning Bolt at least once. And once we untap, we have Benevolent Blessing ready to go onto it. We're going to be feeling a lot better at that point. We can go pro-red, pro-white. And just be attacking with a 5/5 every turn that they cannot block. Just really need to avoid that one spell this turn. Oh no, they have it. It's not the specific spell I was worried about, but it's just as good. We're tapped out. We have no blessing to prevent the Oblivion Ring here. Oh, hold on a second. Turn off auto yields, please. Okay, we'll leave a blessing here to protect it from whatever they use to take it away. Okay, so we're going to have to use our blessing here, otherwise the standard bearer will take it. We will be able to trick the standard bearer into dying to the elite. Let's see if we can get the blessing onto the Skyguard under a lightning bolt. We can. Okay, so we're going to put it red so they can't lightning bolt it. And then we're going to get rid of the standard bearer with the elite, and we'll put the pro-white on it afterwards. Okay, Cartouche. Cool. Get that off the board. Play this. So we're already pro-red. The only white things they can do are sorcery speed. So we can leave the blessing in hand for now. And that way, if we don't need to use it, we can potentially get more auras onto the Skyguard. Seeker of the Way. So that is hard card to race. Thraben Inspector. And Windscar Crag. Let's see what we get off the top here. Okay, they're going for the Faithless Looting. They're going to lose a little bit of value on that one. I like using the Faithless Looting when we have the Seeker of the Way ready to attack. But they're getting rid of a pair of basic mountains. So that makes a lot of sense that they want to do that. Ethereal Armor. Oh, baby. And we're going to go ahead and put Pro White on it as well. Get that extra damage in. Okay, take 10. You can't do anything about it. Your turn. So they do still have things they can do. They have Prismatic Strands to prevent the damage turn after turn. What's the opponent on? They're playing Boros Bully. Hey there, actually a dog. Thanks for stopping by. We're on, I believe, Game 3 of Match 5. Usually it will tell us up here in the corner, but one of the things that I've noticed is that with the glitch that I've been having, it won't show up top what game we're on. So opponent has one land left. They do not have the Prismatic Strands in the graveyard, so they're dead. How's it going so far? We're 2-2. Okay, opponent can actually go up to 11 life here with the Seeker of the Way. So they're not quite dead yet. We can't even put another aura onto the Skyguard here. So they're actually just going to straight up get another turn for that life they gained. Alright, let's play this secondary creature, why not? And we'll pass the turn with our opponent being at 1. Okay, they have one card in hand. And I'm pretty sure that if it isn't Prismatic Strands, this game is over. They have Faithless Looting, and they still have plenty of mana with the Boros Garrison here. Okay, so the Pauper meta is under a great big shift right now. Nothing is certain any longer. Okay, so we won the game. There was a bunch of new cards released with Commander Legends, including Benevolent Blessing, one of the cards that we're playing today. Fall from Favor. There was a couple of Cascade cards. One is like Annoyed Aliosaur, and the other one was a Pirate. I can't remember what it's called. And then there's also Cannonade, which is 3 mana, instant speed, 2 damage to all creatures. Non-pirate creatures, sorry. So with all these new cards that have entered the format, people have been jamming them into already strong decks. And, oh yeah, Fall from Favor is a busted Magic card. And it's actually one of the main reasons that we're playing the deck that we're playing today. We have Benevolent Blessing, Stave Off, and Benevolent Bodyguard all set up to protect us specifically from that one card. Alright, I don't want to really make any changes here. We're just going to submit. This hand is very difficult to keep. We don't really have any auras, and we only have one land. I want to throw this one back. Alright, this one's better. Deftblade Elite is quite good with First Strike. We'll keep this. We're going to throw back one land. And do I put back the Deftblade Elite? I think so. Oh yeah, that deck is really good. I'm hoping that I'll be playing it fairly soon. I just really don't like getting rid of my second creature here. I feel like they're going to have an answer for my first one. So I feel like getting rid of my second creature might just leave me dead. Alright. Yeah, it's basically like playing Blood-Braid Elf. Creature doesn't have haste, but Cascade into Cascade seems pretty good. Okay, opponent leading out with Basic Mountain. Looks like they mulliganed once. Hanging on our upkeep here. Here we go. Oh, that's a great draw. Best draw in the deck. We get to play the Trailblazer, which plays through Lightning Bolt. Alright, thanks for lurking. Thanks for sticking around. Boros Garrison. Okay, so we got free reign this turn, but they could have a Journey to Nowhere next turn. We don't really have any way to play around Journey. Maybe we just go ahead and play Skyguard, but Skyguard would die to Lightning Bolt. Maybe we want to just play Ethereal Armor onto the Trailblazer, start attacking, play Deftblade Elite. We will get 2 for 1 if they have the Journey to Nowhere, but I think we need to get a clock going. And if they end up putting a Flag Bearer down, I would feel pretty silly about not putting down that Ethereal Armor already. Okay, Seeker of the Way. Seeker plus Lightning Bolt could take out Trailblazer, but I have the Deftblade Elite to force the block over there. Hyena Umbra, huh? Okay. Could put the Hyena Umbra onto the Trailblazer, start getting in for a lot of damage, and have the Deftblade Elite. Do I even need to pull focus away at this point? I don't. I have more than enough toughness here to survive the Seeker plus Lightning Bolt play. So I'll just attack with the Trailblazer alone, and then I'll play a secondary Elite and pass. The opponent won't be playing the Cannonade. They have a bunch of 1/1s that would die to it. Okay, Faithless Looting is going to pump up the Seeker of the Way. Giving it lifelink. They're going to be digging towards Journey to Nowhere, and Journey is going to be backbreaking. If they find it, they can just get rid of the Trailblazer, no problem. Difficult for them to decide which cards to discard here. They do have 7 in hand currently. They end up getting rid of Squadron Hawk Mountain. Okay, do they have the O-Stone? This would be a good time for it, for them. Leave no trace. Okay, so they're going to destroy the auras. We do still get to keep the counters that are sitting on the Trailblazer here. So it's not a total loss. Still have a 2/6 instead of an 0/4. And I think we'll just take the 4 here. We'll keep our Deftblade Elites. Play the Skyguard, attack with the Trailblazer. The question is, do I want to play the Secluded Steppe? Or do I want to hold it as a cycle? I think I hold it as a cycle. I don't have any 3-drops. So I'm going to hold on to it for now. There is actually some value to playing it for the Deftblade Elite, so that I would be able to play a 1-drop and use the Elite's prevent damage ability. So it might have been right to actually play the step there. We have 2 Elite on the board. We are going to want to be using those 2 mana triggers, the 2 mana activated abilities. I think that, honestly, Elite has impressed me the most out of all the cards in this deck. Giving the Elite first strike is no joke. Okay, so we're at the beginning of opponent's combat here, and they have no attacks. Excellent. Get another plains. Okay, glad we didn't play the step. Play the plains, and we'll start attacking. Let's see here. We'll attack with Trailblazer and Skyguard, and we'll leave the Deftblade Elite back on block to prevent the damage from Seeker of the Way, so they can't gain life. We also have the step to cycle. Okay, so they have the Lightning Bolt for the Skyguard here. And if I had been thinking, I'd realize that the Trailblazer is also vulnerable to Lightning Bolt and a block from Seeker of the Way. Okay, they are going to block here. If necessary, we will crack the Secluded Steppe to give our creature, try and find a way to give our creature pro-red. Okay, we miss. So we're going to lose our Trailblazer here. Should have been thinking about that. Could have saved ourselves a little bit of a problem there. Seeker of the Way, okay. One thing that the opponent could have is Electrickery. I don't think they would bring that in against us, but it could actually be very powerful in certain situations. We do have a lot of X1s when they start. So we'll block and prevent the damage. We take 1 from the Thraben Inspector and we can start our turn. Opponent only has 1 card left in hand. We'll play the Skyguard, hold up Deftblade, and pass. Opponent does have 2 Seekers of the Way and a Faithless Looting in the graveyard, so they will be able to gain some life this turn. Okay, here's the attacks. Same blocks as last time, basically. Let's see if they have any action. Okay, they definitely have something. Is this a Rally the Peasants? Yep. So we're going to be taking some damage. We're going to go ahead and activate the Elite here so that we can hit 6. We are taking 8 here. The opponent is gaining 5. And we get a Kor Skyfisher. Not really the card we were looking for here. We can play the Skyfisher, bounce a land, replay a land. That's not going to get us too much value. We could attack with a creature, but then we wouldn't really be able to replay it because of the Deftblade Elites. So yeah, the Kor Skyfishers haven't been working too well. Maybe I should be using the lifelink aura instead of the 2 Kor Skyfishers. Giving the Skyguard here lifelink would have actually been quite good. Attack for 2, go to 9, and start gaining back some of the life the opponent had been taking this entire time. Okay, there's the land, so they do still have Rally the Peasants ready to go. We are going to have to block an extra creature. So probably block the Thraben Inspector, because the Seeker of the Way would become an X3 with the Rally the Peasants. Okay, so I can either chump with one of my creatures or take the full damage. I definitely want to block one. But what if they have Lightning Bolt in hand? We're not quite dead to Lightning Bolt in hand. Well, we would be dead next turn. I think we have to block the other one. Make them use the Rally the Peasants here. Oh, they have a Lightning Bolt. Okay. They Lightning Bolt our Skyguard. That is going to take the Kor Skyfisher off the board as well. Good play from the opponent. Maybe we shouldn't have played the Kor Skyfisher at all, just held up the 2 Deftblades. I don't think that would have really got us anywhere, actually. It would be a terrible holding pattern. But that's the holding pattern we're in, so let's go. Should have kept the planes in hand there. Opponent should attack all, and we're almost dead. If they have anything in hand here, we're dead. They have Rally the Peasants. We'll take 6 from the Thraben Inspectors, go to 1, and then any spell finishes us off. But even without that, they still have everything on board here. So they'll just be able to kill us next turn. We'll see what we draw, but I don't see us coming back from this one. It's been good games, good league. Definitely enjoyed playing this list, but I think they would make a couple of changes. Okay, so we end up 2-3 on that league.